Hey there, gang, and welcome back to the Tavern. It's Jelly's name day this week, so he's out celebrating getting older with his family, which gives us a perfect opportunity to share a little bit of Scylla's backstory with you all. Join us tonight as we travel back in time, 3 months ago, to the Grand City of Ulara, the bastion of Dragonkin on Abhaile, as her journey is set in motion. Kat and Rich are joining us, playing Thava, the Dragonborn Artificer, and Crunk, the Swashbuckler Rogue, respectively. Before we dive into the math rocks and brutal criticals, let's take care of a couple quick announcements. First, it's 2024. We all know how important self-care is, but thanks to a recent independent study conducted by top artificers, we now know that dice care is just as, if not more important. And that's why we recommend you help keep them as comfy as possible in these cold, cold times. As the time-honored saying goes, happy dice, happy life. Impassable Creations specializes in crafting comfy confines for your clickety-clackities. They have super awesome dice bags in 3 different sizes to accommodate even your most dragon-like hordes of math rocks. Based on your favorite fantasy flora, fauna, and even spells, check out their full range of dice bags, scrunchies, pillows, stickers, and initiative trackers over at impassablecreations.com. And if you want to pick up something for that special dice set in your life, be sure to use the code YBIT24 at checkout for 10% off your order. Second, we want to shout out some independent artists on DeviantArt that have helped us out along the way. Check out Ellie at Perlaria, and as well as Sir Yorick. You can find both of their contacts in the description below. Finally, please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share with your friends. We're literally 5 subscribers away from reaching our first goal, and to celebrate, we'll be running a special PvP episode featuring our team from Abhaile pitted up against a formidable team of Taverners. So smash those buttons and spread the word. That does it for announcements, so let's dive in to the legends of Abhaile. Welcome back to the island of Mea'motu, deep in the heart of the Moanwi archipelago, where our party of heroic heck-raisers have been slogging through a dense tropical forest destined for the smoldering volcanic heart at the center of the islands. Among the handful of those who volunteered to brave the unknown, one appears out of place. Scylla, a towering figure of bronze scale and muscle, clad in well-made armor. Her axe has struck true time and time again, protecting her human and elven allies, smiting those which would do harm. We zoom out, panning westward, over islands and ocean, until we reach a great arid coastline dominated by a massive mountain range. We dip down, skimming across the surface of the ocean as it breaks on sand and rock. As we draw closer, the sapphire waters of the sea meet darker water, flowing out from a peculiar river. Covered in stone, an enormous cavern opens up, and we press inward. Some 10 miles from one side to another, this cavern stretches further than the eye can see. Teeming with life, villages come into view. We see dragonkin going about their lives, tending livestock and fishing the great river. Curiously, though, it's not dark. Set into the stone, above and at the sides, gigantic clear gemstones radiate light, illuminating all as if it was a cloudy day. Further and further, we travel inland. Through this miraculous cavern, we pass towns and villages until we reach the walls of a massive city, jutting out from the northern walls of the cavern itself. Massive walls of patinaed bronze reach out from those stone walls, embracing the buildings inside. Great portcullises straddle the river, their gates raised to allow vessels to pass into the city's protected port. We have arrived at the Grand City of Ulara, one of the few that remain of the great and ancient city-states predating Anstria, Boreala, and the islands. We're viewing a snapshot in time, just 3 months past. As we pass over the towering walls, manned with sentries in proud armor, below we see the port of Ulara, bustling with activity as wares are loaded and unloaded from the multitude of shipping barges. Dragonkin of all manner go to and fro, setting about to their labors, making idle conversation. Deeper into the city we move, passing homes and shops, all wrought from finely worked stone, smooth and beautiful, accented by bronze, brass, silver, and gold. Nearing the cavern wall, the city continues, carved into the very stone itself, with the scale-forged citadel dominating the centermost portion. The wide central thoroughfare meets a grand staircase rising 100 feet to the towering open doors of the citadel, and a group of those same bronze-clad sentries can be seen making the steep ascent upwards, flanking a figure with silvery scales clad in dark armor. The city has been properly abuzz with word of Halloran's arrival, presumably the only survivor following the fall of Naira. But hey gang, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Off to the left, nestled against the side of that great stone stair, set apart from the stone cavern walls, a still impressive bastion. The Orichal Hall stands proud, walled in, just like the city, a smaller simulacra of those towering walls. Within the confines of this proud keep, a dusty training ground sits, occupied by dozens of members of the Amber Steel Guard, the most feared and revered of Ulara's protectorate. We zoom in tighter on a group of young cadets clustered around an imposing and battle-scarred old Dragonborn, Vorik Ironscale, Sergeant-at-Arms, with thick arms and a proud chest clad in worn yet decorated leather. A scar cuts across his left eye, which remains, though milky and blank, his scales singed and scarred in places. As he addresses the group of cadets at attention around him, he twirls a quarterstaff in his hand. Scylla, to your left, you'll a spindly young dragonborn with ebony scales completely interrupts the sergeant-at-arms as he's speaking. Quarterstaffs again? What good's a stick against a blade? The sergeant-at-arms dips his stave low, hooking the foot of the little punk and planting him flat on his ass. If you're gonna interrupt me, use the proper vocabulary. It's quarterstaves. And he pops him on the head with the staff. 1,000 years ago, the greatest swordsman to ever live, a warrior named Jane, was humbled by a modest farmer with his quarterstaff. He moves back into position, addressing the lot of you. Underestimating your opponent can cost you everything. We use staves. Slaves, that would have been awkward. We use staves. Otherwise, your little outburst would have cost you a leg and then your head. Perhaps, in time, you'll learn from that bruised ego of yours. And, he looks around, takes a big, big sigh. Again! Pair up. Strikes to 10. Losers do pull-ups until they fall. Ravina and Voranth. Calthor and Thork. Corvath and Ambera. Scylla and Thava. Begin! As the pair split off, finding acceptable spaces to spar, Scylla and Thava, you want to roll initiative for me?
Can.
Thava, you are up. We are sparring with quarterstaffs against Scylla.
Got it.
That shot.
Does a 22 hit?
Oh, that hits.
Here you go.
Hey, heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a two-handed swing.
Absolutely.
The 17 hit you.
No.
Got it. Banged off your shoulder armor.
Yeah, as you guys Thava, as you whack down on Scylla and Scylla goes for a counter attack, you duck out of the way, it bangs off your shoulder armor and ricochets. The sergeant at arms is kind of walking through everybody and focus on your stance. A solid foundation leads to a powerful strike. Thava, you're up again.
Dang.
Holy cow.
I'm gonna do it two-handed as well, just because I totally forgot that was important.
I do too. I forget that was spears as well.
Yeah.
Cool. 4 damage.
And we're just gonna counterattack with a Hellish Rebuke.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Thava, you want to make Scylla a dex save?
Not very good at those. Although...
Ooh, still half damage.
Okay. Hit me.
Ooh, that was good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 5 lightning damage to you, Scylla. Or Thava? Oh my god, this is going to be complicated. But yeah, okay. And Scylla, that brings it up to you.
Gotcha. Alright. Gonna pop her back with my staff. Yo!
Definitely not.
No, but I am going to burn a War Priest feature. Use of War Priest. That first hit was a feint. Oh, shit! Well, that was not good either.
All good. We're going to pull away for just a second. We'll snap back to you guys here in just a moment. But first...
What's 8 damage to me?
No, that's... That was... sorry, that was my bad. That was a miss. Crunk, we're going to pan over to you real quick. Mornings suck. Scylla and her military pals are always off training at the hall, beating each other bloody like it's a good time. To you, it all seems so pointless. Wasn't the idea not to get hit? Blocks away, darting between legs of bigger people, you move gracefully through the center of Ulara, bound and determined to find your own fun. It's kind of crazy. It's so busy today. Way more people are out and about, clogging the arteries of the Grand City beneath the stone. There's a tension in the air, apprehension, and even worry. The city's rife with anxiety at the arrival of Halloran, not because of who he is, being the High Advisor to the Lord Dragon of Nyra, but because of what happened to your cousin city to the southwest. Crunk, do you want to make me a history check?
Crunk's not very smart. Can't really remember much from that fancy book learning.
Oh, Crunk's plenty smart. Crunk,
Say it again.
Crunk, you've got friends.
Crunk's never been called smart.
You've got friends in more than just the military of Ulara. You've got friends in the Sapphire Eyes. And some of them, over a drink or two, have let slip that Nyra has been completely decimated. It was thought that none survived, until Halloran's ship came limping down the river, charred but afloat. No one knows the cause, and there's an understandable worry among the common folk that the same fate may befall Ulara as well. How do you feel about that, Crunk?
Crunk worry about finding food. Crunk worry about keeping Crunk safe. Crunk worry about the city going bye-bye.
I gotcha. Crunk, ahead of you a ways, you spot that formation of guards making their way up the grand staircase. In the middle, you spot that silver-scaled Dragonborn with the dark armor. And do you want to make me a dexterity check, Crunk, as you try and dodge through a thicker chunk of crowd that's gathered at the intersection ahead of you? 19. All right, you're not a problem. Little kobold's got kobold energy, and you're just down and darting through and zipping around. And there's other kobolds around as well. You're not entirely too rare in the city, but yeah, you make your way through absolutely no problem. Over to your left is the training grounds for the Arashal Hall. As not a member, you get turned away every time you try to get there. They've got crazy arcane wards that keep their perimeter safe. But yeah, even for somebody as sneaky as you, Crunk, it's even though your friends like to go there for their training, they never really did much to make you feel welcome. But Crunk has other skills.
Oh yeah.
As you see these individuals climbing the staircase, Crunk, there's just that feeling in the back of your head, like, man, he might have some cool stuff on him.
Nice.
Do you want to make me an intelligence check, Crunk? We'll see how smart Crunk really is. That's
straight 11.
Not bad. That's above average,
Smarter than your average, probably.
I actually found this out the other day, which is kind of cool. So 10 is the baseline of intelligence, so 10 is your average humanoid, and it actually kind of scales with IQ, which is kind of cool. But with an 11, Crunk, you remember the last time that you tried to sneak into the Grand Hall at the Citadel? They weren't really too keen on you sneaking up, and it's a difficult sneak, having to get all the way up the staircase. It's a 100-foot climb. They're stairs. They're tall. It's not the easiest thing for somebody with your little legs to get up sneakily. But you do know that the Citadel kitchens are on ground level, ahead and to the right of the staircase, tucked into a nice little corner, and they have amazing sweetbreads.
Oh, yummy.
So what's Crunk up to?
I want to go to there.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm hungry.
that's not a problem. So you zip through the crowd and dart around to the side of the staircase. There are a couple guards posted at the bottom of it. They don't pay you any mind because people, and when I say people, internet, I'm talking about dragonkind. Don't at me. They walk around all day, so yeah, they pay you no mind as you move past. And do you want to roll me a stealth check? Make me a stealth check as you.
Stealth check?
Yeah, stealth check to see if we can get into the kitchen unnoticed.
I'm gonna say yes, but before.
Wow. Yeah, you absolutely do. You do that number where you kind of post up right next to the door, like comically posing as a barrel sitting next to another barrel. And as a really busy-bodied Dragonborn servant opens the door to take a load of refuse out to the trash, you just slip right in, and you're
I
met
can
with
taste
the
it.
exactly. You're met with the largest kitchen imaginable. This place, not only does it feed an immense amount of people in a day that attend and work in the Citadel and the surrounding areas, the kitchen here provides meals of a larger size, significantly larger in some cases, and I'd say they're probably, you want to make a perception check.
Absolutely. Find me the good stuff. Where's some ale at? 9.
Fine, okay. There's about 15 people working right now inside this portion of the kitchen. You've been in here before, so you know that it's a larger area that's got different little kind of pods or sections where, these people work on, some of the larger meals. Like, we're talking roasting entire large creatures like cows, kind of like you'd do a whole hog roast, but much larger. This section is more of a crew mess, if you will. Like, they provide food for the workers. So there's not that many people needed to be in here for some of the large bowls of slop they put together. But you do see...
I don't want the slop. I want the
Yeah,
stuff.
you do see a portly little Dragonborn lady who's carrying a basket full of sweet rolls and other goodies. She takes them and she places them into a dumbwaiter and closes the thing, hitting a lever. It doesn't even make any sound immediately, but it's presumably gets hoisted high above. How bad do you want a sweet roll, Crunk?
I want it bad.
Okay.
It's been many weeks since I've had a sweet roll.
Do you want to make me a stealth check to get across the kitchen?
10.
10. Okay. Let me roll a thing real quick here. That portly Dragonborn lady's gonna turn and look at you and go, "You again." What are you after?
Your stuff's so good. Your stuff's so good. I gotta come back for more.
She just kind of looks at you and taps her foot and reaches into her apron and pulls out a sweet roll for you and hands it to you.
Oh, thank you. You've
I-
always been my favorite.
I would rather you come to me instead of trying to take it off somebody's plate. It's not polite. They tend to take...
I'm sorry, man.
They tend to take hands for that type of thing on occasion.
Ooh, Crunk needs his hands.
Crunk, as you're chowing down on that
Crunk goes
sweet
from
roll,
first, third, and second person perspective when talking quite often. Crunk will try to stick to one.
we're gonna go ahead and snap back over to the training grounds now. The air's filled.
There goes gravity.
So as we pull back over, the air's filled with the clacking of wooden staves striking, the occasional thwack of stave striking scale. It is, I believe, Thava, you are up. You want to take it away? It's your turn.
Sure.
lord, Thava, you are on fire tonight.
Right?
Yeah, that's wild.
That is 7 damage to you, Scylla, but it is your turn.
Right. Swinging back with another low roll.
Holy cow.
But I am going to burn that Channel Divinity Guided Strike.
Absolutely. Heck yeah.
So that's going to be a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Righty.
Hey.
6 damage.
6 damage.
And I am gonna burn another War Priest to use another bonus attack action.
Heck yeah.
How much damage did you say?
6.
6.
6. Oh, okay.
And the bonus attack is coming in at a 17.
Nope.
Damn.
Yeah.
She's a beefy dragon lady too. So as you get her one good whack and try to go in for that follow-up, she catches it under her arm kind of, and you hear and feel a low rumble. But next round is Scylla, your turn.
Oh, wow. So close to being a 7.
What is up with your rolls, lady?
I don't know. My dice have been eager to be used, I guess.
I guess. Holy.
Using weighted digital dice.
Yeah, right? Weighted digital dice. Paid extra for that.
Man, who did that happen to? It happened to somebody where they were just stuck and they couldn't roll anything but a 4. It was great.
What? No. That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I'd be getting my physical dice out and telling you my rolls at that point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so that's a 7 whacking to Scylla. Scylla, you are up.
And I'm bringing it back with another 2-handed strike. I'm getting mad. There we go.
At the top of initiative, though, however, you guys feel another rumble. This time, it's more intense. And you hear an explosion. Loud but distant. Do you turn to look?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Make me a perception check. Either one of you or both, you know.
Yeah.
Ooh, so got a good roll finally. Okay. Yeah, looking over, smoke rises from the Gateway Ward. And you guys know the Gateway Ward is between the port and the lower income residences along the wall. And at that very moment, dong, 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 the bells begin to sound. Looking over, you see Vorak, the sergeant at arms. He's turned towards the fires in the Gateway Ward, but he's just standing there, a blank, if not sour, expression on his face. What do you do?
Kind of look at Scylla and be like, should we keep going?
I'm gonna look at those in charge, take a cue from them.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is kind of like military, so I mean, we kind of just can't break and do whatever we want. I mean, we could, but we'd probably get in a lot of trouble.
As you guys stand there waiting for any type of order or command, you watch him. He furrows his scaly brow as if he's concentrating hard on something. And he turns to address the lot of you. Everyone around you now has completely stopped sparring and are just kind of like you, just that anxious tension right before the string snaps type of thing. An explosion at the docks. We're under attack. Quickly. Amber Steel, to me. he yells out to the open courtyard, quickly making his way towards the gate, opening up to the streets beyond. So for the sake of this training exercise, guys, you guys can restore all of your hit points and abilities. We were just sparring. We're not trying to hurt each other. As he takes off running, you watch as he holds out his right hand to the side. A bolt of electricity explodes from his outstretched hand, whipping around in a frenzy like a transformer trying to ground itself before solidifying into a longsword with a milky gray blade. Do you all take off after him?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
If he's running, so are we.
Absolutely. And behind you, another 10, the other 8 cadets as well start busting out as, you guys do, you're using quarterstaffs, but you do have your normal weapons on you. You're just not trying to, use an axe to spar with somebody.
Right. Well, if we got some, if we're moving somewhere with a purpose, I drop the staff and I've got axe and shield in hand.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely have the mix.
Yeah, and I'm gonna cast Bless on myself and Thava.
Okay, cool. As you burst out onto the streets, can you immediately both make me a dexterity saving throw?
Well, let me cast Bless first.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a really good call.
There we go.
And what is that, a D4?
Yes, ma'am.
I targeted you, so it should automatically factor it in.
Cool.
Looks like it didn't. Okay, so I'm gonna add a situational bonus, and there we go.
I will do the D4 then.
Yeah, when it rolls up and you have the formula under situational bonus, if you tag in 1d4, it'll roll them both at the same time.
Okay, so we got a 14 and a 15. Perfect. You guys are able to, Scylla, you with your shield and axe in hand, you just kind of like arms to the sky and like sidestep and get skinny. And Thava, you do the same as a wave of terrified citizens rush past you. Thankfully, you're able to dodge and dip and dodge out of the way, and you're fine. And continuing on, can you guys make me an athletics check to try to keep up with the rest of the cadets?
Absolutely.
Yep. Hoo-hoo.
You get a D4 on top of that. Oh, you did that. Okay. So interesting. Cool. Thala, you're gonna lag behind just a little bit, not enough to hurt anything. Scylla, you're really on it. You're a little bit sour about this morning's training and how it went so far. So you're bound and determined to prove you're not a slouch. And,
I want to hit something that deserves it.
And we know you're not a slouch. As you guys near the intersection with the main through road, another explosion rocks the square as a shop across the way erupts into a ball of fire, flinging stone everywhere. Let me see here. Scylla, you managed to jump out of the way as a chunk of stone the size of a person lands right next to you. And then, Thava, you're gonna get whacked in the head with a bowling ball-sized chunk of stone.
Damn.
It is gonna be, you're going to take 6 bludgeoning damage to the head, Thava. As that chunk of stone impacts you, you can still feel the heat on it.
Oh, wow.
Crunk. Deep within the stone, you don't really notice anything going on. But you did notice a plate full of sweet rolls go up the dumbwaiter. Do you want to make me a perception check again, Kronk?
Crunk keeps his peepers open.
12.
12.
Do you want to make me a sleight of hand check?
Something Crunk is good at. 16.
16. Crunk is actually really good at it. So you're standing there eating your sweet roll, talking to this nice young, portly little Dragonborn cook, and you, hands behind your back, you just are able to like jimmy the door to this dumbwaiter open. And you're a really dexterous little kobold, and so the top of the door is almost as tall as you are, but you're able to just carefully nudge it up and nudge it up and nudge it up, and then you poke it with your tail to get it all the rest of the way up, and sure as shit, your little kobold nostrils don't fail you. That plate of sweet rolls is indeed still sitting in there. The dumbwaiter hasn't risen yet. You get the idea that the dumbwaiter system here is not the most advanced or technologically superior thing in the entire world. It's likely a bell attached to the lever that was pulled, and then someone up top has to hoist or start some type of contraption. You're not really sure. But the plate of sweet rolls is still in there, and that's when the room shakes with the explosion outside. And would you like to make me a dexterity saving throw?
All right. You said a dex?
Yeah, saving throw, sir. And I gotta roll another dexterity saving throw.
16.
1 second so I can get this. Okay, so the cook that you were talking to, she stumbles hard, and you stumble hard, but as she topples forward towards you, your instincts kick in and you dive backwards into that dumbwaiter.
Okay.
And the door shuts.
Oh! Ember!
And as the door shuts, it starts to rise. And your own personal cramped wooden elevator begins to creak along slowly. But the good news is, Crunk, you have a whole plate full of sweet rolls down there. There's a couple of them have been squished by, kobold butt, but it's there, and
we'll save those for last.
Yeah, okay.
I must portion them out depending on how long I am stuck in the elevator.
We're planning to
will
be
eat
here
one now. I will eat another one now. And I will eat another one now. And I will eat another one now.
You sound like
I
me.
will eat another one now.
I'm gonna go spend $85 on food and then eat it now.
And then eat another one.
So entirely pleased with yourself, smiling at your own cleverness and speed and agility, you continue to climb in this little tight, cramped confines. It's completely dark in here, but yeah, it doesn't bother you too much until you're jostled in your confines as a tremor shakes the stone. Can you do two things for me, Crunk? Can you make me an intelligence check? And then a Constitution saving throw.
Intelligence check.
Oh, 2. Cool. And let's get that Constitution
you said a
saving
what?
throw. A con save.
Constitution save.
Hey, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Me too.
The 10 just makes it hilarious. You are pretty darn sure that you're like 200 feet up.
Okay.
And but you get this uneasy feeling about what if I'm 200 feet up in a shaft. If something were to happen, the fall would likely be the end of Crunk the kobold, dead in a kitchen shaft. An anxiety grips you in the dark.
And cast pile of sweet rolls to soften blow.
You
Frank is
know,
gonna go out. He's going out eating.
with your sweet roll stuffed in your face, an anxiety grips you in your ascending little coffin. You feel not a rumbling this time. You feel something else. Back in the intersection, Dragonkin are screaming and scrambling as they flee from the flames. Scylla and Thava, do you want to make me a perception check?
A perception?
Yes.
17.
17 for Scylla. $13 for a 17 for Thava. Heck yeah. Thava, you have been rolling 17s like it's your job. I love it. The explosion sent stones flying all around you. Some small, like the one that hit you, Thava. Some massive, like the one that nearly hit you, Scylla. You try to look past it as you scan your surroundings for threats. Dong, 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 dong. The bell continues to sound. Dragonborn and kobolds are still trying to clear the busy thoroughfare. You see a kobold dragging an unconscious and bloody dragonborn female inside to a shop for shelter. Another just sits, hugging her knees, sobbing beside a large chunk of building, sitting atop blood-stained ground. Dust and smoke clog the air, filling your lungs. Can you guys make me a con save, please?
Me as well.
No, you're good for right now, sir.
Okie dokie. Sorry, my dog's getting insanely jealous of my cat now.
Cool. Thava, you're good. Scylla, you start coughing with the dust and the smoke in the air. It's nothing that's inconvenient. Like, well, I'm sorry. It is inconvenient, but it's nothing. You know, it's a lot to take in. It's almost like a little subtle form of shell shock, where kind of the sound gets quieter and your vision tunnels a little bit as you scan the surroundings. But you catch your bearings quickly enough. Your training hardens you to a level that the average person could never understand. You realize, though, that you aren't the only ones having a hard time. Rena helps a bruised and bloody Corvath to his feet as the sergeant-at-arms pulls the weeping dragonborn to her feet, shoving her inside the nearest doorway. He holds his blade in front of his face, and lightning surges, crackling all around him, like a suit of armor. He leaps over some rubble and continuing towards the dock. As you guys make your way after him, you hear another loud explosion, followed by a rumbling the likes of which you've never felt before. This time, from behind you, up in the citadel, where your patron resides. Game time decision, which way do you go?
He's gonna head for the dock. I say we just follow him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm probably do the same. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So he hopped over a large chunk of rubble. Do you guys want to make me a, do you want to make me a...
Athletics?
Athletics, that's the right word I was looking for. I have my turn for a brain fart. Hey, no worries at all. You hop over that and just start busting out like crazy. Let's see, about 2 blocks towards the docks. So we're on a wide road. Are you guys running side by side, or are you what's the?
Yeah.
Okay.
More or less, yeah.
Okay.
I probably fell behind a little bit when I got hit with that rock.
Okay. Gotcha.
Right.
Absolutely. Ahead of you guys, you watch as a cart. It's not gonna end up impacting either of you, but a cart, like a runaway cart, like a horse carriage, but instead of a horse, it's being propelled by a large salamander, and it is terrified and booking it the same direction that you guys are going. I don't think it knows that that's not the greatest way to go. It's just careening at full speed, dragging this cart along. It's fishtailing back and forth. It knocks a few people out of the way as it's going. It might have run somebody over. It's really hard to tell. But as it continues forward in the intersection, the salamander tries to stop as another cart comes careening out of a side road. And they collide hard, splinters of wood flying everywhere. As these two carts collide and start to splinter into pieces, and you can hear these poor animals that are they're not having a good time, is the PG-13 way I'll say it. Something from the cart starts to leak onto the ground and immediately catches fire, and it's not a normal fire. It's a creepy green fire, and it starts with a puddle on the ground before going up to the stream of leaking fluid emanating from the cart, and there is a massive explosion, larger than the one that shattered the home that you got hit with a stone from. And as the flames spread, this alchemical fire is splashed on walls, it's splashed on intersections, and it completely covers Vordak from head to toe. He is on fire, so he is going to take a fire damage, but he is completely coated in fire. Yeah, he is completely coated in fire, but he's somehow maintaining calm. It's
it's just a flesh wound.
Yeah. Well, you remember seeing Thava and Scylla. You remember, you've known this guy for quite a long time, and then he's been burned before. It's part of the job, I guess. Do you want to try and extinguish the flames?
Yeah, I am going to...
Perfect. Do you want to make me it is a dexterity check to try and extinguish flames? And it's not a high DC at all. This is like level 1 stuff.
Gotcha.
Can I help?
Absolutely. You get advantage on that, Scylla.
Alright. Good. Reroll that d20. The 15 was higher, so we'll stick with that 17.
Heck yeah. The 17. Yeah, you quickly, you're able to. He's a little contrarian. He's trying, bound and determined to stay on his feet, but you firmly put a hand on his shoulder and force him to the ground and start throwing dirt onto him from the ground really quickly, and you're able to, in no time, extinguish the alchemical fire that is burning him. And he looks up to you and he's like, "Thank Christ, I don't like fire." And at that exact moment, another explosion from behind you, and a crazy roar. It doesn't sound like your average roar either. It sounds almost... I don't want to say mechanical, because I don't think you guys would know what mechanical means, but there's a wrongness to it. And Vordak looks over your shoulder, Scylla, and it doesn't look like there's anything amiss. Did that come from the Citadel?
Shit. Alright, I guess we take off running for the Citadel.
Don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Go protect the Great Worm. And he just kind of forces himself up, pulling a healer's kit out of his pack to heal that 1 hit point of damage. Do you guys want to make me an athletics check to try and bust ass?
Sure.
Okay.
Athletics.
13? Yeah, yep. Sorry, I know that athletics isn't great for you guys, but, it's fun for me.
It's usually okay for me, but...
Hey, I'm a strong, beefy lady.
Absolutely. Perfect, though. That's great. You guys tear off, jumping over the rubble once again, and making a beeline up those grand staircase. And then it takes you a good couple minutes, because, again, I don't know. It's like this place was built for dragons or something. 100-foot staircase is just a little insensitive, I think. It's for ceremony. It's not for running. But I bet it would be great if it snowed down here. You guys reach the landing at the top. The massive 50, 60, 70-foot doors. They stand open, clad in gold, silver, bronze, and brass. Your stomach drops. Blood splatters the walls, the floors. Furniture lies shattered. Paintings askew on the walls. Not a person can be found in the great foyer. So you guys reach the top of the grand staircase and find the room completely disheveled. As you guys are looking around, taking a feel for it, seeing what's going on, another great explosion rocks the Citadel, seeming to shake the entire mountainside. And about 60 feet in front of you guys, there's a wall separating the foyer from the grand hall inside, where the Great Worm holds court. And as the mountainside rumbles, this terrifying rumble, the wall collapses in, a flurry of bronze and silver scales as stones bounce off the 2 gargantuan creatures. You see Valoria, the Radiance and Amber, grappling a dragon with silvery scales, black smoke trailing from its eyes. Valoria, her clawed front limbs are holding his face away as a blast of icy air shoots forth, encrusting the wall to your left, as well as a good part of the ceiling in feet-thick layer of ice. Its claws digging into her chest, blood pouring out. The roaring and gnashing is almost deafening to you guys. And we'll cut real tiny quick to a cramped and dark elevator shaft, making its way up to this very floor. It's crunk time. As you carefully make your way forwards towards the top of the shaft, you hear another rumble, a louder rumble, an insanely loud rumbling. And then you hear scraping, wood against stone, as the rope or chain or whatever it is going straining harder and harder as rocks begin to pelt the top of the dumbwaiter box that you are in. Crunk, you know you need to get out of this box.
I yell up, "I'm sorry. Didn't know they belonged to somebody. Please don't kill me."
Crunk, do you want to make me a Do you want to make me a perception check? $14, okay. It's dark in there, Crunk, but you're starting to have a little panic set in. It's tight confines, and now it seems to be wedged in this elevator shaft 200, 300, 400 feet up in the air. You're not sure. It's a long way up. But as you're in this dark, cramped space, you start to run your hand along the roof of this dumbwaiter, trying to find anything. Why would there be an access hatch? There probably isn't an access hatch, but there's got to be something. And just the whole time you're hearing rumbling above. You're hearing explosions. You're hearing the straining of the rope trying to get the dumbwaiter unlodged. It's not able to do it, and as you feel along almost to the point of panic, your fingers find a gap on the side, a gap that might be big enough to slip a blade into and maybe jimmy it loose.
Let's see what we can do.
Okay, for this, Crunk, do you want to make me a sleight of hand check with advantage?
Sleight of hand with advantage.
100%, that'll do it. Yeah. And do you want to make me a dexterity check as a quick follow-up?
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, I dig it. So you get your dagger blade into this crack, and you start to pry and pry and pry, and then several of the nails come free at once, and the dumbwaiter cart pitches to the other side in the tunnel, or the shaft. And to the point where you're almost Austin Powers in there, but there's just enough space as you're kind of wedged. The box, if you think of it as a portrait style, like rectangle, is now wedged at like just an off angle, one corner digging into one side and the other corner resting on the other side. You've completely jimmied the top free, and it swings on a rope in the shaft. Do you want to make me an athletics check, Crunk?
I was never good in gym class. Could never do that pull-up.
Perfect. Actually, for this, I'm gonna go ahead and say you can make an acrobatics as well. What you're gonna do right now is you try to like get up on that thing and like scale around it, but it's like, oh, it's crazy. It's a rope. Who climbs a rope? You're more than welcome to make me an ag. Oh dear God.
Someone help Crunk. He doesn't need to die for some sweet rolls.
Aw, aren't they worth it?
A minute on the lips, a lifetime in the bottom of the shaft.
I'm gonna make a roll here. And it's gonna be a straight roll. The dumbwaiter does not collapse under your weight as you fall trying to grab hold of the rope. You fall on your butt, and you kind of get jimmied back into the box a little bit, but it remains. It's wedged.
It works.
You hear cracks. You hear it. Man, you were so close to falling 300, 400, 500 feet to your death. You don't know how far, but it was going to be bad. You just by the skin of your teeth, You're just... okay.
Just saying to myself, don't fart. Don't fart. Just give it a minute.
So, Crunk, let me ask you this. Do you think that... So, you've got a rope going up to the top, and you've got a tunnel that's not quite as tall as you are wide. Or it's not quite as wide as you are tall, if that makes sense. Sorry. How do you want to try and get up this tunnel?
All right. I am going to slowly take my tail and wrap it around the rope. It's just kind of like a catch-all, like an anchor. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Just to kind of give it wrap it around a couple times, just to give myself a nice little firm grip with it. If this thing does fall out from underneath me as I'm moving.
Okay. All right. With that, because I love it, because all I have in my mind is that the little like solid snake zipline things that you clamp onto a cable, like when you see them in all the spy movies where they clamp it onto the cable in the elevator shaft. All I'm imagining. That's all I'm imagining. So I'm going to give you advantage on either acrobatics or athletics, whichever you prefer, to try to get back up on that rope.
Oh, I'm doing. Look at that.
You are doing fantastic now. Okay, the little fear of death, it goes a long way, guys.
Enabled myself, and it allowed me to find a little hook in the chain that I could put my tail through perfectly to really give me a good, solid grasp. Sound good?
Absolutely. Okay, so you carefully make your way towards the top now now that you've figured out a method that works for your madness. As you reach the top, you find the door closed. Can you make me a dexterity check to try and get it open while you keep yourself anchored in place?
All right, perfect.
12. Okay, that's not bad. You're able to, it takes a second, and you end up having to adjust yourself a little bit to the point where you're like neck and shoulders up against the door, and your two hands are like trying to scrunch it up while your feet are pressing really hard against the far wall, kind of like pinning you in place there. You've got your tail wrapped around the cable for good measure. And you slowly work your fingertips, your little claw tips under the wood of the door, and start to scrunch it up. And as soon as there's enough room, you springboard off of that far wall, doing a little barrel roll out on exactly, doing a little barrel roll out onto the ground. And
I skid on all fours like a dog hitting a patch of ice. And I just feel like a superhero. Stop. You know what I'm saying?
Interestingly enough, it's not a patch of ice, it's actual ice. And you right yourself and get your bearings, and in front of you, a terrifying sight. Two small mountains are locked in mortal combat inside the expansive Great Hall of the Citadel, moving with a speed and ferocity that almost make you wish you stayed in the box. The bitter
Can I go back?
No, well, I mean, maybe.
Not a good idea.
The bitter cold air around you is crackling with electricity. Do you want to make me a perception check, Crunk? Perfect.
19.
Yeah, absolutely. Across the way, you see Scylla and Thava on the opposite side of a large pile of rubble that once was an entire wall. And as you start towards them, seeing familiar faces, and they're obviously not dragons that are, massive to the point of stepping on a Crunk, you hear a commotion to your right. And you realize that dragons aren't the only ones fighting. The Citadel Guardians stand at a distance, throwing spears towards Valoria. Or they were. As you right yourself on the slick marble stone floor, their heads snap in your direction. You can see some bearing fatal wounds across their body as black smoke drifts from their eyes, mouth, and wounds. They focus their attention on you and start running in your direction, weapons in hand. Alright, let us, gang, roll initiative. Let me make sure my camera is in a good spot. Good enough. Oh man, these guys are having a roller coaster of a time. Okay. And real quick, I'm just going to show the audience at home the terrifying sight that they're seeing up in there. And let's see where we are at. Okay. All right. Scylla and Thaba, you guys see out the corner of your eyes across the way the dumbwaiter door on the side of the room pops open and out flies Crunk, covered in sweet roll debris and icing. He slides out onto the floor, and at that moment you see the dragons shift their position, and you can see the guards as well. And as they notice Crunk come out from the side passageway, they start making a beeline in a tight formation towards him. This little fella over here gets a good run up and chucks a spear at him. Attack normal. I don't think a 12 will hit you, will it, Crunk?
No.
Okay. You see a long-hafted, really well-decorated ceremonial spear just flies right past your head, hits the ground, and skids towards the wall as this guy starts running up quite quickly into your face. He's still a couple feet away, and there's a good amount of rubble between you. It's actually giving you some degree of cover. But that brings the first guard's turn to a close, and that brings us to maybe the most interesting part of this little experience. On the 20 count, the layer action kicks in, and these guys are all actually going to have to make dexterity saving throws. Scylla, Thaba, and Crunk, you guys are okay for right now. But these guys are having, these two dragons are like cat fighting, like full on scratching at each other. From the look of the room, it's clear that they're out of juice inside for their breath weapons at the time. So they're just going ham at each other with claws and teeth. Rolling here, rolling there, hitting the walls, and a tail flies across and strikes at these guys, and they're going to have to make a dexterity saving throw. But you guys all do notice that and kind of get a feeling that maybe if we get too close to these dragons, we might get hurt.
Got it.
So they're going to make saving throws. He's going to fail. That's great. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw. He's Gucci. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw. He's Gucci. He's going to make a dexterity saving throw. And he's Gucci. So this one right here is actually going to get knocked prone. This one right here is going to get knocked prone as the dragon's tail flies through, and you just see with like this almost otherworldly grace, the remaining three jump in unison as the tail goes under them, like double dutch. And the lead is going to look over, noticing the two of you for the first time, and he is going to dash straight towards you with a morning star in hand, or a mace, I guess. And the action to dash takes his turn, so that will be him. And we come to the next guard, who is going to dash up as well. And that'll be his turn. And that brings us to Crunk. It's your turn.
Crunk comes out, kind of gathering a couple sticky buns, looks up and goes, "You want one?" As the spear goes flying past him, he goes, "I guess not."
You do have an option to use Cunning Action. Cunning Action lets you use a bonus action to take the dash, disengage, or hide action. So if you wanted to bonus action hide, we can roll a stealth check versus their perception to see if you can hide, and then you can make an attack with advantage, a ranged attack.
That sounds perfect.
Okay, so roll me a stealth check.
Okay. Thank you for helping me out here, man.
Hey, dude, that's what we're here for, man. D&D is not an easy game.
Alright. Let's go back to it.
And which one are you thinking about shooting at?
The guy closest to me.
Okay, cool. We can work with that.
Perfect.
And I will check his perception. Yeah, you're better than his passive perception. So what we'll say is you're kind of positioned to a point where he had really hard time getting that spear up to you, and as he approached, he's kind of put himself in a bad spot. And you're able to quickly dip out of the way, and he turns fully looking over this direction, expecting to see you come running out that way, but you don't. So you are more than welcome now to you from where you're at currently. You'll have to like make a this way motion, and then you can shoot at him and then move back. But
Okay.
you're more than welcome to make a ranged attack with your bow. And a natural 19 will absolutely hit. So you want to roll your attack, and then after your attack, you can click your sneak attack damage.
I mean, roll my damage for the attack.
The damage for your attack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alright, I wanted to be sure. What was that for? Ignore the short bow attack rules. But
Not
that
a
was
problem.
6 damage?
6 damage, and let's get that sneak attack. For 6 damage.
For 6 damage.
Yeah. He drops to one knee. He has taken a mighty hit and is barely clinging to life. But that is your action and bonus action. So that will bring us to Scylla. You're up.
Okay. I am going to
Rage.
right around this way to get flanking on old boy in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Nice.
And once with the axe. And a D4 for the bless.
Absolutely. 2 for
That's a
15.
15, is that it?
15 will come up short, unfortunately. He,
Alright. Well, we're going to burn a guided strike.
okay, absolutely. A 25
We
will
got it.
100% hit.
And we're going to swing the damage in. Yay, I hit him.
Hey, 6 damage. That's not nothing. That's not nothing at all. And
Yeah,
cool, you
and
got him
then
targeted.
another-
I thank you, sir.
Yeah, and another use of War Priest for a bonus action attack.
Absolutely.
Oh, I need to be rolling this with advantage, never mind.
Oh, yeah. You want to roll that other one real quick one more time, just to see if you had a crit?
Can do.
Close.
I'll tell you what. Since that'll negate the.
Oh, the guided strike,
I'll do.
for sure. Yeah, we'll just say that works for 100%. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Sweet.
But the that's got a. It's got your bless figured
17?
in. 17 is just shy.
All right. Well, you need to add. I need to add the bless.
Oh
to
yes,
that.
absolutely.
That's gonna be a significant.
Definitely.
23.
23 will do it.
Sweet.
Ooh, good hit.
That's a little better.
That's a little better and a half. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Heck yeah. 2 good hits in from Scylla. Anything else for you, Scylla?
Not this turn.
Okay. Thava, you got one right in front of you, and if you make a melee attack, it's at advantage with flanking.
Sweet.
Or I guess a melee spell attack as well, too.
I want to use these thunder gauntlets. Sure. We're going to do that.
Do it.
Oh.
Captain Iron Man
And we're
up in
good.
here. Oh.
Fail.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's payback for all those whacks you put into Scylla earlier.
No.
Yeah.
Anything you want to do is a bonus action, Thava.
I'm going to do my defensive field and gain my temporary hit.
Sweet. Cool. How many is that you get? I've never played an armorer before.
I think it's just 3.
Threes?
It's
Threes?
for my... 3's 3 more than 0.
It surely is.
And that'll be it.
He's going to pivot around this rock now that he knows where you're at. And get right up here. He doesn't have a spear anymore, so he is going to whack you in the head with an unarmed strike. And he'll actually just completely miss you because you're a kobold and you've got kobold energy. So he makes a punch for you, and you just, nah, not happening. And that brings his turn to a close. This one is going to dash up to you, Scylla. The dash will be his action. And that brings us to that one. So this one run down here as well. And that'll be his turn. Top of the round for the lair action. Nobody is in range of a tail swipe, so that's a good deal. Actually, I'm going to take that back on this one. This one's here because he had to use half of his movement to get back up, because he was the tail swiped one. Now we're on the right track. This one is going to make a spear attack against you, Scylla. Sorry, that was a mess for a second. Does a 17 hit, Scylla?
17 does not.
Does not. He's frustrated as it kind of just clangs and skids off of your armor. He looks frustrated. If a possessed spirit could look frustrated. Crunk, we're back to you.
All right. Crunk is going to look behind him and see where that spear landed. And he's going to use his little agility to over to it and pick it up.
Okay.
And I'm just going to tuck that in, and he's going to just take that and tuck that into his, his backpack satchel that's on his back. It's going to sit there awkwardly, but it stays in there, and he goes, "Finders keepers." And then he is going to aim at this guy with a arrow.
Okay, so do you mind if we not pick up the spear? That'll be an action to do so.
Okay.
Just looking out, man.
Then I am going to go ahead and take my shot at the guy.
Okay, go for it, man. Oof, a 9 will miss,
9.
Unfortunately. Yeah, he dodges out of the way.
Or I'm going to use the rest of my movement action, get over here and get hit.
Okay. You still have your bonus action available, so you're more than welcome to roll a stealth check for hide.
All right, we are going to do exactly that.
Yeah, you're hidden. You're hidden like crazy.
I'm literally like the little meme of Mr. Popo where you just see like the two eyes blinking in the dark.
Perfect. I love it. Scylla, you are up with Thalava on deck.
Right. First, as my bonus action, I'm going to cast Magic Weapon on myself.
I love it.
And then I'm going to beat the same dude with my axe.
Heck yeah, with advantage.
Hell yeah. And it's also going to be a +1 on that.
Heck yeah. Oh, yeah. You get him. You get him.
That's
good.
good. And I'm going to bring that damage in.
Ooh, good stuff again, yeah.
Hell yeah. Also, for the magic weapon, it's going to be 12 damage.
Yeah, absolutely. 12 damage, and he is just taking a chunk. He's not looking great. Thava, you're up. Or wait, Scylla, I'm sorry. Did you want to do anything for bonus? Or the bonus action was magic weapon. I got you.
Yeah, I got nothing left.
I got you. Thava, you're up.
All right. I'm gonna try to use these thunder gauntlets again.
Go for it. You have to do better than you did last time, probably. You got advantage.
Right? Do I still have
Yep.
advantage?
Absolutely.
Does a 16 hit?
16 unfortunately will miss.
Got it. That'll be it for me then.
Okie dokie. That brings us to the guard down here. Wait, which guard? This one is going to come through the rubble. Down here. Towards his spear. And he's going to pick it up. And as he picks it up, he goes to bend over and pick it up. And he looks over and sees a kobold just sitting there. But he's used his action for the turn, so he is done. And then we are at this one, who is going to get up here. He is going to come down here and make a spear attack against you, Thava. So, does a... Oof, that was an adventure. 12 is going to miss completely.
Yeah.
It doesn't even miss. It just hits your defensive field, and the electricity crackles around it and repels the spear back into his hand, and just... and he's just... and that does it for him. And then we are at this one in front of you, Scylla, which will take a spear attack at you. Oh, you know what? Let's go versatile. He's going to go two-handed. He's going to make a and that is 12 to hit, so it's going to miss. Good lord. These guys try really hard. But at the 20 count, up here towards the top of the room where the dragon fight is going on, you see the silver dragon gets a good handhold on the on Valerion's neck, and the claws dig in. She lets out a roar before going limp and crumbling to the ground. The silver dragon standing triumphant over the top of her. But as we continue on, the guard captain is going to make an attack on... he's not happy where he's at, but he's going to make an attack on you, Thava. That'll be... he's going to make 2 Morningstar attacks on you.
Okay.
Ooh, that's actually not bad. So a dirty 20 to hit.
Yeah.
Look how she's like, oh god, I can't believe it hit. Ooh, for max damage of 11 piercing.
Wow.
And he will follow that up with a second. Ah, wow, for another dirty 20. Holy cow.
What? Ooh.
Significantly less damage for 5 piercing damage there.
Okay.
That brings his turn to a close, and then we are at this one, who is going to move in here to get flanking on you, Scylla. They are going to attack with advantage. That was a wild ride, too, for 21 to hit.
Yeah, it's gonna hit.
Holy
Which one is
cow!
attacking?
Holy cow! This one's attacking you right here. I'm sorry. Let me ping right by him. This one right here for 9 piercing damage.
All right, well, I'm gonna pop off a hellish rebuke on him.
Absolutely. Let's roll that dexterity saving throw. He's not great at them. Oh, 11. Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Do it.
Ooh, good stuff. Well, good on one dice. He was at... Oof, he is just, again, barely hanging on. Holy cow. The lightning just courses through him. He is just barely hanging on. Crunk, you are up.
No, you said I was hidden, correct?
You were until
Or did he see me?
there's not much you can do about hiding when they have clear line of sight to you. So yeah, he does.
Well, I
see you.
have 25 is hidden, man.
Well, but you're also standing right
Getting
there.
under the rock. Just wanted to be sure. Just wanted to be sure.
Hey, you gotta ask, right?
Hey, you know what? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I am going to attack the guard who's right there. I'm going to move into his radius there.
Okay.
And I am going to go ahead and attack him with the rapier.
Absolutely, go for it, man.
All right.
Roll that attack. I'm 90% sure that'll...
19?
Yeah, 19 will hit. Go ahead and roll some damage on that. And you get your sneak attack as well. Heck yeah, heck yeah, heck yeah.
And sneak attack. Another 7.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oof. Yeah. You gut this dude, and then you gut him again, and then you gut him again, and then you gut him again, and black smoke trails out as you pull the blade out each time, and he falls limp to the ground. He is no more.
All right.
So,
Now,
you don't
just
even...
out of curiosity,
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
can I pick it up, or would it be just completely ridiculous for me to want to get that spear now that I'm kind of safer?
It's still an
Take it
action.
and maybe
It's
stash it.
still an action to do
That's
it, man.
fine.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine.
You do still have your bonus action though, so you can do a you can use it to do your dash, or you can just hang tight.
Yeah, I am gonna dash. You get me about right here.
Okay, perfect. That'll bring us to Scylla. You're up.
Right, I'm going to take a couple of attacks of opportunity as I move myself.
Okay.
I move right up here. So I'll take 2 from the ones I was adjacent to.
Yep, absolutely. One moment. We'll go with Morningstar first. So that'll be oof. That'll be one. Oof. That'll be one for 11. And then this fella here will
Pop off a hellish rebuke on that guy.
Go for it, man. I will roll that here in just a second.
Yeah.
That one will miss you completely, and let me roll a dex save for you. It might do it. This might be the game for him. He rolls a 10.
That's a fail.
For 5. Oof. That was close.
Yeah, not a lot, but enough.
He is looking real rough. He was looking rough to begin with. He had a bad day to begin with before you guys came into the picture. He is looking rough. Okay. You're up.
Let's see if I can angle it right. I'm going to try and use my breath weapon and try and attack all 4 of them.
Hey.
There we go.
I do 100% see what you're trying to do, and it will 100% work.
Boom.
That's dex saves from the brothers?
From all 4 of them.
Okay. Yeah. All right, let's start off with this one. And that's going to be...
Vale.
Yep. This might not go great for any of them.
No.
I love that. This might be Scylla's highest kill count yet.
This
Right.
literally sounds like the beginning of a Beavis and Butthead. Just
God.
I love
Okay.
it.
All right. One makes it. The one that's down here with Thaba makes it, but roll that damage.
Well, let's do it. That's 9 lightning. It's not bad.
9 lightning damage is not bad at all. So this one here, dead. This one here, dead.
Nice.
This one here, dead. And the one in front of you, Scylla, is barely alive.
Yeah.
Thava, you're up.
Let's see. Do I have another use of War Priest? I do. Wait, no, I have to use the attack actions. Never mind.
I gotcha. Thava, you're up.
All right. I am going to move up to that one. And is this still considered flanking?
If you want to move up,
1 space to your right.
yeah, you got plenty of movement to do so. That'll be flanking.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, you just
So
have
like
to be
directly across.
Exactly.
Got it.
So you got advantage.
Sweet. I'm gonna try to use my freaking gauntlets. I want to use them.
Do it.
I want to punch somebody. Oh hell yeah!
Did you just crit? Oh,
I sure did.
you did. Yeah. Oof.
So it's gonna be max damage plus what I roll.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
roll
so-
normal and then you add the max to it.
Yeah. And modifiers
that
both
count?
times.
Yeah, your
Oh,
modifiers.
modifiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Oof.
Yeah, just put real holes. I like it.
So you're
That's
gonna
max damage and max damage.
Yeah, so,
so 22
yeah.
points of damage.
22. How's he looking?
He's looking like he's all over the place.
Oh, he's everywhere. I'll fucking smash him.
Oh, you do. He is incinerated. And
Nice.
that brings that to an end. We're back at the top of initiative. In the front of the room. Sorry, hang on just a second. In the front of the room, Valoria lies on the ground, motionless, her eyes wide open and staring blankly for just a second before lightning crackles all around her and her eyes close tightly as she looks up at the exposed chest of the silver dragon standing above her and releases a immense, powerful blast of lightning from her mouth, like nothing that anyone's ever seen before, possibly ever, as lightning arcs off of the silver dragon, conducting along its scales, arcing between each one, between its tail and its body, between its arms and legs, between its wings and the walls around them. And it crumbles to the ground in a massive, massive rumble. And as it crumbles to the ground, that darkness that was leaching out from its eyes and mouth vanishes, seeping into the floor and out of sight as combat comes to a close. Valeria takes a moment to catch her breath and try and scan the area quickly for threats. She looks at you all first for a moment with this seething hatred that Scylla, especially Thava, you have never seen come from your patron before, ever. She's almost exclusively been a purely peaceful, purely benevolent being that is only concerned with the defense of her people, and there is a wildness to her for a moment as she regards each of you and then relaxes, realizing that you're not a threat. And if any of you three want to make a nature check, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
Perfect. Scylla, you are well aware that people talk, and Valeria has more than just good eyesight. She can see beyond this realm, and she immediately recognizes you are not afflicted by this evil, this strange evil. And she relaxes. That fire leaves her eyes, that hatred, that anger, it leaves, and in a moment, her form shrinks. Her wings coalesce and condense and fold in. Her neck retracts. Her arms and legs, or I guess just legs because they're dragon, I don't know what they're called.
Or limbs.
Yeah. They return, they shrink in, and her torso constricts, and her tail gets smaller as her claws turn into fingers. She takes on the more traditional guise of her dragonborn self. Sometimes it's very difficult to get around when you're truly gargantuan in size. She turns down into her socially acceptable appearance. I don't have a token for her, but let me just find something to use as a marker. We'll use this. She approaches the lot of you, putting a hand on your shoulder, Scylla and Thava. Thank you, my children.
Kind of drop down to one knee in reverence.
Oh, no. Stand, you have done well for me today. You have done more than I could ever ask.
Ronk reaches into his backpack and pulls out a sticky bond, and he kind of dusts it off some, and he goes, I think these are for you. And the officer, a sticky bond.
She looks down at you with a type of amusement that even without an insight check, I think you guys can all figure is a little bit political. And she politely takes it, doesn't eat it, but she holds it in her hand for a moment and gives you a warm smile.
Then he counts to about 4 in his head, and he goes, you can eat that?
Perhaps later.
It's like eyeballing this sticky bond. Okay.
Perhaps later.
Thought was gonna ask, what was that?
That, unfortunately, was what is left of Halloran of Naira.
Were they possessed?
Indeed, I believe he intended to strike me down. He very nearly did. It is the echo of a forgotten realm, a place where darkness reigns eternal and whispers of malevolence stir. His purpose was manifold, his desires inscrutable. To unravel its machinations is to dance upon the precipice of madness. You see, she's just a little bit aloof at the moment. It's impossible to even conceive that anyone would try and kill someone as powerful as her. There's nothing in the cosmos that is as close to godhood as a Great Worm. Save for possibly an Archfey, but even that is hard to say. I see through all. Even now, in the air around you, I see things that would muddle your brains. If you could only conceive. But his intentions were hidden to me until the very end, when he showed his teeth and wings. And she kind of, I don't want to say dismisses you at all, but she still has this aloofness to her, this kind of wonderment to the whole concept. It's insane. And she takes a step away for just a moment before her eyes go milky white for just a moment. And you hear her say, and it sounds like she's talking, but it sounds like it's 15 of her voices at once, overlapping each other. What news from the far wall? I see. Excellent, you have done well. We will send healers at once. And her eyes become clear once again. And before she even has a chance to say it, outside from the city below, you hear 10, 20. It's hard to tell. You can't even track all of the distinct tones, but roars bellow out. Like the Spinosaurus in Jurassic Park 3, just blood-curdling roars of victory as whatever had been happening outside, as well as in here, is no longer a threat. And the city of Ulara is safe for the time being. She makes her way slowly up towards, well, come on, what's going on here? Okay, there we go. She makes her way up towards the corpse of the great silver dragon and kind of just looks down at it with a mix of disgust and sadness even. And she kind of turns her head back over her shoulder, looking at you all. Come closer, I promise it's safe. This is most troubling. If this is the same darkness that befell Naira, they've clearly tried to duplicate that here. thankfully, in no part, greatly thanks to you all. If you hadn't been here to distract the accursed abominations that once were my guard, he may have had the upper hand. She kneels down and touches the head of this great beast. It's almost disorienting looking at her now standing in the shadow of this thing where once she towered over it. She places a hand against his snout, and you can see runes of magic spring up around her as she delves into its brain, or what's left of it. It's nothing. There's nothing there. No sign of the evil that touched his mind and heart. As a quick note, you all did watch that darkness seep into the ground. It's starting to look like maybe she didn't notice that.
So we did notice that?
You did, yes.
Then I'm gonna mention it to her.
Okay, and as
It
you...
seems some of the darkness in him may have gone into the ground.
She looks immediately
spread?
troubled. Sorry, go ahead.
Could it spread?
She looks immediately troubled and places her hand on the ground, and those arcane runes flare up once more. And from your position there, Thava, you can actually see her eyes are just like glossy, fluorescent blue as her spell delves into the stone below. I don't know if it spreads like a virus. When he came into the room, he expelled a large cloud of darkness that took the guards, his honor guard. They were meant to keep him safe on his way here. They immediately, some of them tried to resist, but he cut them down and they rose again. And as his blade fell, he transformed into his true form. Give me one moment, and she kind of sits down on the ground for a second, crisscross applesauce style, and from her, she's got long flowing sleeves of a really fine silk, and from inside of one she pulls it looks like you know those magnetic fidget toys, like the little rectangle, maybe an inch or two. She pulls that out, and it's made entirely of diamond, it looks like. Setting it on the ground in front of her, she whispers a few words that none of you quite recognize, and just in front of that, a larger version of that same crystalline rectangle appears. And she holds out her hands, opening the top of a chest, a very intricate and ornate chest. And she pulls out 2, and then 3, and then 4. She has to do them one at a time because they're so large, diamonds. She puts 1 directly in front of her, 1 to her left, 1 to her right, and then 1 behind her. If you will humor me for just a moment, we will find out the extent of this corruption.
Of course.
And she circles her arms around her, making gestures in the air, weaving arcane runes, and her eyes light up again. And this time those diamonds all light up as well. And then they interlink, forming a diamond itself in the middle of the floor around her. And she breathes out, and lightning comes out. And it's not the attacking type of lightning, it's more of like a gentle exhale that takes the form of lightning, and it wisps around and coalesces and forms a circle in front of you all. And you see an impossible sight in front of you as the ground whips by, going through the river to the ocean and beyond. It goes further and further out over open seas and nothingness for hundreds of miles. It's hard to even conceive the distances that this display is showing you before it meets the land of an island. And it leaves and continues onward, and it meets the land of another island, and another, and another. And it hits an island, and the stone in front of her turns black and cracks in half. The spell ends. She stands up, carefully putting the diamonds back into her secret chest. It is indeed fled the city. It is indeed fled the continent. But we cannot allow this to lie uncontested.
What should we do?
You three have shown yourself to be far more capable and brave than any of even my most trusted guards. She looks at you, Kronk, first, and you aren't even one of my soldiers at all. How fortuitous.
I'm just here for the sweet rolls.
Would you, by chance, be willing to be here for something more than a sweet roll?
Well, I did see a spear over there I liked, but what do you have in mind?
Oh, I know you. You're the little fella that keeps sneaking into the kitchens, isn't that right?
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Well, I can, that's okay. I see more than you may know. How about this? I will give you as many sweet rolls as you can dream of, and more if you help me. Have you heard, my young friend, of the Sapphire Eyes? And Kronk, you have indeed.
Hasn't? Who hasn't?
Exactly. They're the esteemed finders and spies of Ulara. And a few of your good friends indeed are members of their ranks. I am prepared to offer you admittance into their numbers if you will, all three of you, perform a task for me. The Amber Steel, Scylla and Stava, they have always stood for Ulara. The Sapphire Eyes have always looked out for its interests. This darkness must be found, and it must be eradicated before it can topple another civilization. Thava, far to the south are a collection of humans that have created a new kingdom for themselves. Would you be kind enough to take one of our boats and cross the Great Lake and see if they have any knowledge of this darkness?
I would be honored to.
Young Kronk, would you do me the honor of accompanying Fava at least on part of her journey? And I would like you to visit the ruins of the fallen city Naira. Learn what you can and bring back any information.
You had me at unlimited sweet rolls.
She chuckles under her breath. And Scylla, I need you to follow and hunt this down. We can send you a ship. We can send you a ship. These people, these islands, while you may not have known them in the past, some of our settlements on the edge of the run, they have dealt with them. They're a kind people. They are a kind people. If not a broken people, they're survivors of Ulara, and they have forgotten much of the old ways, but they do not deserve this darkness to befall them, and we cannot allow it to spread and gain strength. And she'll reach into the chest and pull out 3 pouches, handing one to you, Scylla, one to you, Thava, and one to you, Kronk. Inside the pouch are 4 diamonds. You can use these to barter if you need. Many of these lands you're heading to, at least you, Scylla, especially, these people do not know of money. Thava, I am not sure what awaits you, but they can only help. And Kronk, at the very least, they'll buy a steady supply of sweetbreads from the various villages along the lake. I bid you the best of luck.
Do I have to spend it on sweetbreads? Can I get other foods?
Well, I mean, we will perfectly happy to provision you for your travels.
Excellent. Just wanted to be sure this wasn't earmarked only for sweet rolls. I'm not complaining, just want to be sure.
I could see why the kitchen staff likes you. You are the best of us.
Fun playing kobolds.
Oh man, that's a fact. She makes a gesture with her hand, and the larger chest vanishes, and she stoops over to pick up the smaller one and tucks it back into her sleeve. Take a day, catch your breath, collect your things, and set your affairs in order, and I will have 2 of our best ships set out in the morning to take you where you need to go. You have done a great service to the city, and I know that you will all continue to do great services for all in the future. And with that, we are going to end the session tonight.
Awesome.
Nice.